is our linear graphing review. For each of the problems, we are going to state what form it's in, then state the key features, and then we will graph it. I would suggest pausing the video and writing all of that down and then coming back to join so that you have all of that written down in your notes. All right, so here we have number 1. We first want to identify what form it's in. This is in the y equals mx plus b form, which is called slope-intercept. So the form is slope-intercept. All right, key features for slope-intercept come directly from the name. So we have slope and the y-intercept. So we just need to find those two things for this particular equation. Slope is -1/4. It's always the number before the x. And the y-intercept is this b value, which we write as a point. Now we're going to use those to graph. When we graph, we always graph the point first. So 0, 1, always graph first. So we will go to our graph here, and so just make a quick graph on your paper, and we're going to put a point at 0, 1. After we mark that point, we are going to use our slope. Since this is -1/4, the -1 tells us to go down, and the 4 tells us to go to the right. So we want to go down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and then we'll do it again. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. After we get those points on our graph, we're going to connect them with a straight edge. Make sure after you draw that line that your line has an arrow at either end. All right, let's take a look at the next one. We want to do the same thing. So state the form it's in, state the key features, and then graph it. So hit pause and try that, and then come back. All right, so this is in the y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 formula. So our form for this one is point slope. Then we need to state the key features, and the key features again are easy to remember because it comes right from the name. So we need a point and we need the slope. The point comes from the x1 and y1. So x always goes first. And it's the opposite of what it looks like. So even though this looks like -5, it's a +5 because the negative actually belongs to the equation, not the 5. Same thing over here. We have a +3. That's actually going to be a -3. Then our slope is found right in front there, so 3/2. Just like before, we're going to graph our point first. So we're going to graph 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3 down. Get that point graphed, and then use your slope. 3/2 tells us to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 2. And we do that again, up 3, to the right 2. Get your straight edge out. Connect your line. Make sure you have arrows on both ends. Again, I encourage you to pause a lot because I'm going through this quickly since it's all review. Here is our next one. You can also rewind and rewatch it to go back. We have to identify the form, find the key features, and then graph it. So hit pause, give it a try. This is in the ax plus by equals c form, which we know as standard form. All right, then we want to find the key features. The key features for standard form are the x-intercept, which we write as a point, and the y-intercept, which we also write as a point. The x-intercept always has a y value of 0, and the y-intercept always has an x value of 0. So to find those, we simply put those zeros into the equation. So if I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to put a 0 in for y. So 5x plus 3 times 0 equals 12. 3 times 0 is 0, so it goes away. I have 5x equals 12, so x equals 12 fifths. Now, most of the time, I want you to leave answers as fractions, so we'd have 12 fifths 0. But when we get to graphing, we're going to need to know approximately what that is so we can graph it. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Now we need to find the y-intercept. So we put a 0 in for x. So 5 times 0 plus 3y equals 12. 3y equals 12. After 5 times 0 is just 0. Divide both sides by 3. And we should get y equals 4. That's a nicer number. Since these are both points, it doesn't matter which one we graph first. Remember, we always want to graph the point first, but they're both points, so that part doesn't matter. So we can graph 0, 4. Remember, since it's your y-intercept, it's going to be on your y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to know what 12 fifths is so that we can graph it. So 5 is going to go into 12 2 times. So it'd be 2 and 2 fifths, and then 2 fifths is approximately, well, actually it equals 2.4. So this is the same thing as 2.40. So when we go to graph it, you're going to go to 2 and then just a little past the 2, not quite to the 2.5. And then we will connect those 2 points. Make sure we put arrows on the end. So that's how we do standard form. Find the x and the y-intercept, graph them, and then connect them. All right, the last kind we're going to look at is one of our specials, x equals -2. We want to recognize what kind of line that is, state the key features, and then graph it. So we have two different specials, an x equals a number and a y equals a number. One is horizontal and one is vertical. This one, because it has an x, reminds me of our acronym VUX because it has an X. So that tells me that this is a vertical line. So things that we know about a vertical line are that it has a slope that is undefined. So our slope here is undefined. And that's our only key feature that we have to state. Now we're going to go graph it. So x equals -2. We're going to go to -2 on the x-axis. And then a vertical line goes up and down. So we're going to get our straight edge and draw a vertical line through -2, making sure we put arrows on either side.